The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
All right, welcome to another episode of Schuck on a Truck. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Schuckman. A little sad news today on Schuck on a Truck. We're talking retirement from coaching with this guy, Quincy Notre Dame girls soccer coaching legend, Mark Longo. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for doing this.
No problem.
Might not be the last time. We might find a way to do this again sometime.
Maybe. You just never say no.
This isn't your first time on the tailgate.
No. The last time was with a group of happy girls.
Yes.
Last May.
Last May 28th, I believe.
Yeah.
So
that was a good one.
But this is it for you as a coach. You've tendered your resignation as a coach after 34 years, and you're going to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the right time.
Yeah.
It, 43 years total, 34 years here.
Yep.
I mean, there's some years when I coached. When I was at Ursuline, the AD, full-time PE teacher, and coached 3 varsity sports and the JV teams with those as well. So I've certainly done enough, but I think the time is good to leave right now.
Did you ever see Liz back in those days?
Yeah. Hey, somehow we had 2 kids in those 6 years at Ursuline. So yeah, we did see each other occasionally.
That's one of the neat things about a coach's family. You have 3 kids,
Right.
one of which who has gone into coaching.
Right.
But family is so important to the team, but it's important on the backside too. You can't do this if you don't have support from the home front, do you?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, that old saying of behind every successful man is a great woman. Well, with Liz, I have that. Someone that can take care of the stuff behind the scene when I'm gone, do the things necessary to keep the family going, the family running, get kids to school, to plays, practices, music, whatever the case may be. And she certainly has been fantastic about that. And I know my career, not only my coaching aspect, but when I had to write stuff, crazy things. First time I sent a letter out, back in the day when you had to email letters to people,
yes.
She read it, and she was going to be an English major.
Okay.
But she changed to elementary and special ed. And she read my first letter, and from that point on, I was never allowed to send a letter out without her proofreading. And I'm going to tell you, that first letter, there was more red on that paper than any paper I've ever written in my life. So I've learned my lesson.
At least you didn't get a grade on it.
No, but maybe one of these days I'll get a sticker from her. The
Maybe.
teacher, I do well enough on a letter home.
Well, I see you doing work in the yard. If you do enough yard work, maybe she'll give you that sticker.
There you go.
Yeah. What has it meant to you to coach here? Now we're recording this on the QND campus, right near the field where you've coached all these years. But this is your hometown. You went to school here.
Yeah.
What has it meant to coach here?
Well, it's very special. Knowing what I had to do to compete as an athlete here. Back then it was mostly basketball. We didn't have soccer till my senior year.
Okay.
But you put a lot of time and effort into it, and actually Avery Keck the other day dropped her and Anna's stuff off at my house, their uniforms,
Okay.
and said, "So I guess this is real. That's my last time with these uniforms." And I said, "Well, I remember when we lost my senior year in double overtime in the sectional final, or it might have been the sim, I don't either one, but I remember sitting there with tears coming down and pulling the jersey off." So to come back here with knowing what the tradition here is and has been, and to be able to contribute to that is very special.
Spring of 1990 is when this program started. You were the first head coach. You've been the only head coach. How important was it to get girls soccer started at that point in time?
Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't on my radar.
Okay.
Tina Dietrich, Angie Schutte,
Yep.
Angie Ketters, those 3 came up to me. It was either in December of '89 or January of '90 and said, "Hey, if we start a girls soccer program, would you coach it?" And I said to them, I said, "Sure."
Yeah.
On the inside, I was like, well, I've already started 2 soccer programs, and those didn't start out very well. And I knew what it took to start a program.
Yeah.
And I always say this, and then the school came back and offered me $400 to be the head coach, and I didn't know how I could turn down that windfall. So I accept, and the rest is history, as they say.
At that point in time, after you get the program started, obviously you weren't thinking about coaching girls soccer at that point.
Right.
Once the program gets started, did you fall in love with it?
Yeah, I did, and I had to make that difficult decision in, I think it was '93 when it was getting, our family was growing, and Liz and I talked and was like, you got to start giving some stuff up, and I had to make the choice between boys soccer and girls soccer, and I knew with the boys, Greg Reese was very interested,
right.
And I felt that that was someone that was going to certainly knew the tradition we had, certainly
right.
played in the program, and his wealth of knowledge was going to be something that was good for the program. So I thought at that point taking over the girls and just working with the girls was the thing to do.
He's done all right with the boys program.
Yeah, he's done all right. He coached with me for a few years, so he learned an awful lot.
He's only halfway to your number of state titles.
He'll get there. He'll get there.
But then you look at the broad spectrum from then until now, all the success the Notre Dame girls soccer program has had, not just the state titles, but year in, year out, winning seasons, the number of kids who have gotten the postseason accolades, kids who have gone on to play in college. Mm-hmm. It's all consuming in terms of program success. Right. What does that all mean to you?
Well, it's not anything you ever dream of.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a coach can sit there and dream about winning. I think I figured out we played about 790 games and you win 608 of them.
Yeah.
And 6 state titles and 2 fourth place finishes, a couple other appearances, and
yep.
Have some amazing streaks that you've had in there. And I've got 4 kids that scored 100 goals in their career.
Crazy.
And I got 3 or 4 more in the 90s. So
yeah.
You just don't dream about that stuff, but it just kept falling into place year after year after year. And I'm not the one to take all the credit because
right.
I know what the kids have to do, especially the kids that get hurt and have to rehab and come back. The effort that they have to put into it's all about them. And I'm thankful that I've had kids buy into what I was selling mm-hmm. and buy into what we're doing as a program, and the fact that they kept taking it to the next level year after year is truly amazing.
Some pretty good assistant coaches along the way as well.
Oh yeah, Randy.
Yeah.
Randy Schuck, my late brother-in-law, him and I, we had the good cop, bad cop routine down perfect. And it wasn't anything we'd ever rehearse and say, I'm going to be the bad cop. He would read off if I went in a game and was, okay, we're doing okay, he would come back and say, I'm sorry, you're not doing okay. We
right.
need to pick it up. Or if I got upset and got on them, and he would come back and say stuff like, oh, come on, it's not that bad. We just need to pick up here and there. So we had a great routine down. George McDonald, who's been with me for years, 27, 28 years, does a great job with our JV, and he always has a different outlook on everything that we have, a different perspective, which is always nice to have. And Jason Keller is our 25 years. This year was his 25th year as our goalie coach. Has done some great things, and some of the stuff he doesn't do it very often anymore. Jumping in and playing goal, and he used to call himself Roberto after the goalkeeper, and he would jump around and do stuff. And a few years ago he hurt his shoulder, and his playing days have been kind of curtailed. But he's always done a great job with us, and does a great job scouting teams for us.
Yep.
So yeah, assistant coaches are great, and I think what made us even better is none of my assistant coaches ever wanted to take the program over. They just wanted to be part of it, and that was always doing things that telling them things that were within the system, and that helps out tremendously.
Do you remember the first game you ever coached here?
The first game here. Well, we started a lot of our games out of John Wood,
right, and
played out there.
Okay, first game program history. You remember it?
Peoria, Notre Dame.
Okay.
Lost, I believe it was 6-2.
Okay.
Tina Dietrich got the first goal. Tina Dietrich made first penalty kick.
Okay.
And we learned some lessons, and it was a few games later we got our first win out on John Wood on 48th and State, on that field that now was a crossing.
Yes.
We beat Rochester 3-0 for our first win. First win and our first shutout.
First one. Only 607 after that.
Yeah, only 607.
Only 607. Those are pretty big numbers.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Have you ever taken a moment to sit back and, obviously I know we're fresh off you announcing this,
right,
to sit back and look at all of it and go, okay, wow, this has been fun.
As you go along, you do.
Yeah.
I think you do. You reflect after every season. Again, I said it earlier. I never dreamt we would do anything like this,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody would. The goal starting out was just to be competitive, and we were.
Yeah.
Never had a losing season in the 34 years. That's to me, it's,
wow.
Especially when you just start a program.
Yeah.
You think you're going to have some growing pains in, but we just always had enough kids. We had kids like Lori Thomas and Tiffany Gallimore carrying us scoring wise, and then they kind of held fort until you had the Beth Leeson, Beth Zeidler group, and then you just keep going from there till you get the Foleys and Frericks and kids on so forth and so on, Lee McLaughlin's and Kim Koenigs and kids like that. I mean, you sit and you look at some of the our goal scorers and some of the, just if you try to make some lineups up, you could have Beth Leeson, Beth Zeidler, and Sarah Leeson and have like 350 goals between them.
I know.
Or the Foleys.
Or the three Foleys.
Yeah, or the Thomases.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can even throw in like Jordan Frericks, Lee McLaughlin, Kim Koenig, Michelle Brumbaugh, and even with that, you wouldn't lose much.
Leah Quintero off this year's team.
Leah, 95 goals in her career. I know one of her biggest goals was 100 goals for her career, but she only played 74 games in her career.
If she would have had an actual freshman year, she would have gotten it.
Yeah, so, she would have.
You and I have joked over the years, obviously I've covered your teams for decades now, that if we sat down and did an all-time Q&D team, if I did my 11, you could take everybody else and be just as competitive.
I think we could do, you could take 11, I'll get 11, we could come up with another 11.
I think we could too.
That would be very competitive with that. And it's just a lot of great kids that have just, gone on and played in college.
Yes.
And I probably have a list of kids that didn't play in college that would have been great college players that decided not to play.
No question.
And, you sit and you're going to talk about our forwards, but my God, we could throw the Obert girls at midfield, and you might not get the ball past them.
Well, and you got a mother-daughter combo at goalkeeper.
Yeah. The Myers.
Michelle and Madison.
Yeah, and the Peters family.
Yeah.
They could throw them at halfback. And just so many kids. You got Audra Frericks, Morgan Frericks, Jordan Frericks. That's kind of a good little threesome to have at stopper, center, mid, forward.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
And our keepers, we had some great keepers over the year.
No question.
So, to get to 608 wins, you have to have a lot of talent and have to have a lot of kids that are willing to sacrifice, and we have.
You seem very at ease with your decision.
I am.
I know you thought about it for a while, but it's the right time, isn't it?
It is. It's the right time. And I told the kids this morning, I said, don't be mad at me. Don't give me the stink eye as I walk by you in the hall today. Be happy for me. And I said, but more importantly, be happy for yourself, because now some of you are going to be able to make an impression on a new coach next year that maybe I didn't see. That you're going to be able to say, hey, look, I thought maybe I deserved more playing time. I'm going to work hard for this new coach, and I want to be part of this great tradition.
It is a great tradition.
It is. It's a wonderful one.
Something you can sit back now and just watch from near or afar.
Yeah.
And enjoy.
Yeah. And I told the girls, I said, I hope whoever the new coach comes in, whoever it is, has the same success.
Yep.
Maybe they hire someone that's around 31 like me, and then spend 30, 40 years here. And then after 34 years, and they break all our records, hopefully at 99, I'm still alive. I come back, shake their hand.
What are you going to do with all your free time?
Golf.
Okay.
I got 18 in yesterday.
Very nice. Because you're retired as a teacher as well. That's,
right.
That's...
I got 18 holes of exercise in yesterday.
Okay.
The golfing wasn't that great. But I'll get out with my good friend Mike Leeson, and we'll play quite a bit and enjoy that. Anthony's moved to Wyoming to coach at Gillette Junior College, and he's out there right now recruiting, doing a pretty good job. I think he's going to do a great job. We'll go out to see Amanda out in California again. Although Mark is her husband is in the little beef.
Beef flyer in there. He's part of it.
Yeah. he's in the Air Force, and
Right.
I think they got another year and a half out there, and they could move from anywhere from Scott's Air Force Base in Belleville to Germany to Japan.
Oh, wow.
Or I think the other place is Ohio. So, we'll be able to travel with them, and then going out Saturday morning, watch homie play a little golf in the city tournament.
Good,
So
good.
That'll be all good.
That's fantastic. Well, and you get to spend time with the grandkids.
Yes.
That's the other fun part of it. I know how much fun last year at the state tournament, having those grandkids around. I got to sit in the stands and hang out with Anthony a little bit, and that was a lot of fun.
They're and I know every grandparent says this, but they're pretty special kids,
Yeah.
and I get a kick out of them. I can hang out with them all day, and they're two different personalities. Isaac's kind of easygoing, and Lucy, gosh darn, she's going to be something. She's kind of a bulldog, but she's a cute little kid, and Liz and I can't get enough of them.
I don't blame you. Well,
Yeah.
now you got a little more time for that.
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, 14 hours away, so that's going to make it a little more difficult.
That's all right.
I got time.
You got time.
I got plenty of time.
You got time. Thank you for doing this.
No
Thank you
problem.
for all the interviews and time and hanging out over the years.
Yeah, it's been fun, and
It's been a lot of fun.
yeah. And to close, all I have to say to everybody out there is RSKA, baby.
I was waiting for it. For the retiring Quincy Notre Dame girls soccer coach Mark Longo, I'm Matt Schuckman. This has been another episode of Schuck on a Truck.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.